dimensions of gene therapy. Today we are gathered to explore one of the most transformative areas in modern science, the ability to directly modify our genes. While gene therapy holds extraordinary promise for curing inherited diseases and improving human health, it also raises profound questions about fairness, safety, and human dignity. In this discussion, we'll dive into the social, ethical, political, and future-facing aspect of gene editing technologies to understand not only their potential but also the responsibility that come with them. Of course, I won't be exploring this topic alone. Today, we are joined by brilliant panelists who will each share their perspective. Please let me welcome Ms. Tibalios Cherny. Miss Nobleza Faith. Mr. Leandro Ditti. And Mr. Ingo Robles. And with that, let's start. Our first panelist is Mr. Leandro, who specializes in the social dimensions of gene editing. Mr. Leandro, many people are concerned about how gene therapy might affect fairness and equality. In your view, how can gene editing technologies impact our communities and social structures?
Gene editing technologies are not just scientific breakthrough. They shape how communities view health, equality, and identity. The social dimension of gene editing highlights both its promise for public health and its potential to deepen social divides. So this position focuses on ensuring that genetic advance is strengthening rather than fragmenting society. So there are three relevant points. First, equity of access. Without fair distribution, gene editing may widen the gap between rich and poor, creating a genetic divide. Second is a cultural acceptance. Different societies and religious groups view gene editing differently, respectful dialogue is key to public trust. And third is public education. Accessible, transparent information helps prevent misinformation and fear about gene editing technologies. In conclusion, gene editing must be introduced into society with fairness, inclusion, and education by prioritizing equity and cultural sensitivity. So we can ensure that scientific progress uplifts rather than marginalized communities.
Thank you again, Mr. Leandro, for an insightful look at the social ripple of gene editing. So our next panelist focuses on the ethical side of gene therapy. Ms. Tibalios, altering human gene raises some of the deepest moral questions in science. From your perspective, what are the main ethical boundaries society must accept as we advance gene editing technologies?
So, the power to alter human genes raises unprecedented moral questions about autonomy, consent, and human dignity. Genes editing technologies about strict ethical guidelines to prevent misuse and protect future generations. So, there are three aspects. First is consent and equality. When scientists edit embryos or germ-like cells, the future child can agree or refuse the changes. This raises big ethical issues because decisions are made for someone without permission. It questions fairness and respect for individual choice. Second is therapy versus enhancement. Gene editing can be used to cure serious diseases, which is considered helpful and ethical. But using it to make people stronger, smarter, or more attractive is more controversial. This creates a debate between what is necessary and what is simply for improvement. Third is privacy and data protection. Genetic data from edited people contains very personal information. If not protected, it could be misused by companies, employers, or even governments. Keeping this data safe is important to avoid discrimination or abuse. And finally, for the conclusion, the gene editing will only remain legitimate if it respects human dignity and safeguards privacy. Ethical frameworks are essential to prevent discrimination, misuse, and the erosion of trust in science.
Thank you for that, Ms. Sidalios, for clarifying how ethics can guide the genetic age. Our third panelist will help us understand the political side of gene editing. Mr. Inglas, governments struggle to catch up with scientific progress. What political actions or policies do you think are most important to ensure gene editing services the public interest?
As gene editing accelerate, government face the challenge of setting rules that protect citizens without steering innovation. Political framework determine whether gene editing technologies serve the public or corporate interest. Three relevant factors. First, clear regulation. Government must distinguish between permissible somatic editing and destructive germline editing to prevent political application. Second, global cooperation. International agreement can prevent gene editing, tourism, and establish common safety standards. Third, public funding and oversight. Demonstrated control of future funding ensure that benefits reach the broader public rather than only private interests. For the political action is the backbone of responsible gene editing with robust laws, public oversight, and international cooperation. Government can guide innovation while protecting genetic innovation.
Thank you for that, shedding light on how laws and policies must adopt the genetic innovations. For our last panelist, who looks ahead to where gene editing is headed, Ms. Sublaza, with the pace of innovation increases, what should we be thinking about now to shape a responsible and inclusive future of gene editing?
So gene editing future holds immense potential for curing disease and transforming healthcare, but also risk of misuse if it's left unchecked. Decisions made now will shape the ethics, equity, and impact of the genetic technology for generations to come. So the three applicable points: long-term monitoring. Future gene editing interventions must be tracked over decades to understand full impact on individual and population. Responsible innovation. Scientists and policymakers must collaborate to prevent designer babies or trait-based discrimination. And lastly, the inclusive dialogue. So stakeholders, scientists, policymaker communities must work together to guide the technology towards shared social goals. So the future of gene editing depends on the choice we make today. By fostering responsible innovations, inclusive debate, and strong safeguards, society can steer this powerful technology toward improving human health while protecting human rights.
Thank you for giving us a forward-looking perspective of the future of gene editing. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing your insights. We'll now move to our open forum and question and answer session. This part of discussion will let us go deeper into each panelist's topic and explore the practical implications of their ideas. To Mr. Aurelio, you mentioned the importance of making gene editing therapies accessible to everyone. What key policies should the government prioritize to make sure no one is left behind?
Government should focus on subsidizing public health care, regulating pricing, and funding programs that especially target underserved and disadvantaged communities.
So if these policies are in place but communities still hesitate to accept gene editing, how can local leaders and organizations build public trust?
By fostering respectful dialogue with the religious and cultural leaders, tailoring educational campaigns to community, values and maintaining transparency about the benefits and risks of gene editing.
I completely agree with that. Trust is built on transparency and respectful dialogue. Thank you for highlighting that, Mr. Liano. So let's proceed to Ms. Ibalios. You stress how gene editing raises moral questions, especially around embryos. Under what conditions, if any, do you think it's ethically acceptable to edit embryos to prevent severe diseases?
Any intervention must meet strict safety standards, receive broad public approval, and be guided by oversight from independent ethical bodies to ensure it genuinely benefits the future generations.
Assuming such interventions become possible, how can society protect the privacy and dignity of the individuals whose genes were edited?
By creating strong legal safeguards against data misuse, using advanced encryption technologies, and appointing independent ethics boards to audit how genetic information is handled.
That's a crucial reminder. Protecting the privacy must go hand in hand with innovation. Thank you for that, Ms. Values. Let's proceed to Mr. Imbo. You emphasize the importance of global cooperation. What first step should government take together to set international standard for gene editing?
Government should form multilateral agreement to establish safety standards, share data responsibly, and prevent gene editing tourism where people go to less regulated countries for risky procedure.
Once such agreements exist, how can governments make sure that the benefits of gene editing research reach citizens equally and not just private companies?
By locating public funding, maintaining transparent oversight of research, and ensuring democratic input and deciding which project get priority rather than leaving decision solely to corporate interests.
Very true. Public funding and oversight ensure that breakthroughs serve everyone, not just the select few. Thank you for that, Mr. Gambo. Let's proceed to Ms. Lubeza. Looking ahead, what concrete measures should be taken now to prevent the rise of designer babies and other unethical applications?
We need clear law on non-medical enhancement, strict licensing, and of lab and public reporting of genetic practice to keep the process transparent and accountable.
Assuming such regulations are passed, how can ordinary citizens still play a role in shaping the direction of gene editing innovation?
By participating in public forums, policy consultations, and influence ethical and legal boundaries, ensuring that technology developed in line with society values.
Thank you for our panelists for answering this important question and repeating our understanding of the topic. Your insights show how gene editing affects not only science, but also our values, our laws, and our shared future. Thank you to all our panelists and participants. Today's discussion on biological issues in gene therapy showed us that gene editing is not just a scientific issue, but also a social, ethical, political, and future-oriented challenges. Thank you, and this concludes our panel discussion.